Hello and welcome to a Roblox Studio tutorial. I will be showing you home model, terrain, test, view, and plugins. So to get started we need some parts. So we're going to go to insert. Right off the bat we got tools right here. Tools shows you models, decals, meshes, audios, all by the community or by your own creation or even from Roblox. That's how you get it. It's in home, but I don't really like models, so we're gonna insert some parts. We got block, spear, wedge, and cylinder. So I'll make one of each. And now we got 4 parts. Go over to models real quick. You'll see you have some familiar tools from before. That's a good thing. Now I have mine offset. You most likely have it at 1, possibly. That is, if you're just starting to build, you're a little interested in creating a game and need to learn a little bit more. But anyways, here's the tools, or not tools, but bricks we got, parts. And so they're kind of odd. They don't look like they'd go together, but they can in different ways. Now for home, going back to it, we got move. Move will help you move bricks along the XYZ axis. And then we can do that to all of these bricks. We can even get multiple bricks and move them. Scaling. Scaling will make a brick larger or smaller depending on how you move it. Length, height, and that's pretty much it. X, Y, and Z axis. Length, width, and height. Yeah. For the spear, it'll just enlarge. But with other things, they'll change depending on how you scale them. Like this one, it'll get larger. But you have to scale in multiple directions. Huge incline. You can also scale multiples at the same time. Now they're insanely small. So I'm just going to do that. We're going to keep those like so. Lastly, rotate. Rotate is kind of in its own name. Rotating. Yours might not look like this with all the points. Mine is like that because of how I have it. Go back to models and we see move and rotate. Depending on how much you put it to will depend on how much you change it by. Now I put 25 for move. Now let me show you. If you have move set to any number, it'll move by that many studs. Studs are the little indications right here. So say I want to quickly fill up this gap, make my own little ramp. I can set it to 2 and it'll fill up 2 spaces that way. I can also go 2 up, 2 in or out, and I can change it how I want it. Setting it back to 1. I keep mine on this because it can do a full rotation and be 360 without any issues. I like it like that. Now as for moving as well, you can move it by 25 studs. I mean, it's not really recommended, but you can. Same for the actual move tool. I forgot I built that. Want a sneak peek? I'm building stuff. This is actually a terrarium. Pokemon inspired. It looks cool. Back to the focus. Alright, going to home. Now we have a little bit more. We have materials. But before I show you that, I want to show you Explorer and Properties. Go over to View. Explorer and Properties are in the little corner right here. Explorer is the top one, Properties is the bottom. Depending on how you have your layout, it might be different. Now as for me, my Explorer is filled with junk. This junk is everything in the game. It will show you whatever you want to see. The base plate, I can grab apart, anything. Sorry about that. But anyways, if we click on one of these, properties gets a list. And this list is everything about the brick. Material, reflectance, transparency, the color, what you have it named as, we'll put as tube, or why not? Anything. It can be brick even. We can do whatever. We can actually name it. We'll name it Nick, whatever. I don't care. We'll put it back as part. Cause why not? Wedge has its own name though. It's kind of unique because it has its own name. The command bar is this down here. Team create, I always have it on because it auto saves, and so that's a little bit helpful so I don't crash and lose my stuff. I don't know if Roblox fixed anything like that, but it's a helpful little way to keep my stuff. View will have a whole bunch of stuff like tutorials, object browser, output, game explorer, and a whole bunch more that you will use. I don't use most of this. I'm pretty good on my own. Not the best, but I'm learning. Plugins, off topic. Plugins you can get and download them, or just like get them, have them, whatever. Not really download. But basically from the community, and they help you do stuff. This one is Building Tools by F3X. I barely use them anymore because they're all basic tools. I have no real need for them, but they are helpful at times, I will admit that. But anyways, going back here, models. Now with the move, once more, 25, if I just have select, it'll move by 25 as well. Just to keep that clarified. And lastly, right here we have transform. Transform looks a little bit scary. This is how you're viewing the object, sort of. It's odd. Yeah, how we're viewing the object. It looks cool like that. It has rotate as well, but this is a little bit more precise. Just a little bit, depending on how you want it. Now I'm going to do that. We can also move it. We can move it up. It looks cool. We can also scale it, and it'll tell you by how much you're scaling it. So that's really cool, and that's really handy. And it shows you down here as well, like as to the length of it in studs if you want to count them out. But you don't really have to because it shows you. It also helps you navigate a little bit. I'm just setting it back, even though I can press undo. Now let me select this. We're putting that back. Going back to before, materials. Materials and the properties area. So materials are basically how it looks. We want wood, it's wood. We want grass, it's now grass. What else? We want sand, it's now sand. And we can change the color right here. Now we got blue sand. Sweet. This also shows the reflectance. We can put the reflectance. We can make it go invisible. We can make it transparent. We can put it into a more transparent state that looks like a normal brick rather than something going invisible. But I mean, it's still going invisible, whatever. Let's see here. We can manually do it here. We can make it wood planks. We can make it a metal. Anything that's here. Quote unquote, that's here. We can make it bricks. We got blue bricks. Okay. Here's the size of it. You can find that. You can find the surface, how it looks on the surface. Surface will basically be, I'll show you that right now. Going over to models. We got surface. You want it glue? We got glue. You want it to have a, was that motor? Yeah, that's motor. We got a hinge also. Anything you want. We got whatever. But we're going to keep it smooth. Nice and smooth. Because bricks are smooth. Not really. But you want them smooth because it looks cool. The little trick I'm doing to rotate it like that, it's just RNT. RNT rotate bricks different ways. T does it like that, and then R rotates it like counterclockwise, clockwise. Going back to home a little bit more, we got lock, anchor, and group. So say I want these to be so I don't click them, accidentally drag and select, and then accidentally delete them by mistake like this. That would suck. But I only want these two. Well, I can make it into a group. Now these are a group. I can move them together. I can do a lot of stuff with them together. I can scale them together, etc., etc. But say I just want it so I don't accidentally select them. This is where lock comes in. We just lock it like that, and these are now unselectable. But I can select the other bricks that I wanted to select, so woohoo! We grab lock, unlock it, now we can select them. And if I don't want them to be a group anymore, ungroup. Now they're individuals. Now here's the thing with anchor. Anchor is basically gravity. You know how the moon is in the sky? It has anchor on it. Now, here's how you test a game. You can press play. Play here will be in the specific area. So if I'm up here and I press play here, guess where I'm going to be playing? I'm going to spawn all the way up here. Woo! Hey, I landed in this. Okay, my stuff is not anchored. That's why they have motion. They're moving around to gravity. They're colliding with each other. And it looks really cool, honestly. And same for these. If you don't remember, these were floating. So I will show you with the proper way of how I want to show this. So this is floating, that's floating, this is floating. Normal play. Okay, cool. But anyways, this one's rolling away. We can push this a little bit. And we can possibly move these, but they're flat, so I mean, we can move them up. And I can show you that way. Now if we anchor it, or not lock, anchor. God damn it, lock. If we move it up, it's now anchored. If we unanchor it, it falls. That'll be the only curse word, quote unquote curse word, that your fragile ears will hear in this video. But anyways, now we got that over with. We want them to float. Anchor. Press play. It's also up here. Undo and redo are here. And then new game is there. So now we got an obby. Woo! We can jump 1 from 1. Get to the checkpoint. Anything you do in play mode will not save. Unless it's a script. Those save if you tell it to. But anyways, now we got that over with. All of that is over here as well. I like the models area better because I have all of this, and this is more fun for precision. Now moving up a little bit more. We got create. We can create rope. I want rope connected from here to here, because why not? So now I got a rope. This is for like advanced builds, and I usually just make like showcase items rather than advanced friction builds or like movement builds and scripts. I don't do scripts. I do cool stuff like this. This is cool. It depends if you like it or not. Okay. We got ropes, we got hinges, we got rods, springs, welding. We got a lot of stuff. Torque if you're doing movement. That's really cool. Show details, it'll show you it. And then gameplay. We got effects. We can add fire. And now it's a burning spear of doom, so it looks cool. And if you just want to remove it, just go in here, explore, fire, and press the delete button. And it's gone. You could also do it like this. Fire, right click, delete. That's another way. Spawn, it's a spawn. You'll spawn there. Advanced objects, models. I don't use any of this really, to be honest. So I can't give you the most amount of information upon it. Going over to terrain. Terrain is also here. You can generate like a whole map if you want. You can add it. Terrain isn't like normal bricks. Terrain doesn't have gravity. It is anchored 100%, but it is breakable, so that's fun. Now we got a mountain next to a desert. It looks cool. And now, say we want the desert gone. It rained 100 years. Well, now we can paint water over it. Now we got mountains with a flowing river, and it looks cool. If you want to grow some water, you can grow some water. It goes outward from where the last brick was. Alright, erode. Erode will erode like the grass. And now the water is purging into it. Looks terrifying. And let's see here, smooth. You can smooth out the land and it looks weird. Okay, other than that, we got game settings here, and it'll show you like basically the configurations of the game, but not really. Somewhat, but not really. Because there's more in the actual configurations, I think. Okay, we got terrain over with. We got testing over with, but not really. Emulator, if you want to make it for mobile or like on a tablet, that's cool. And then we got mute and physics. I don't really use this stuff, so I can't really tell you the most, but I can tell you some of it. I've shown a tutorial on the pause and play button for player models. Like if you were to build a statue or something, then you would use that as well, and you would need the explorer. Properties is good to have, and go check out the videos. I'll have the other 2 tutorial videos at the end of this. And we went a little bit over viewing, so going over a little bit more. Full screen, screenshot, video record. It's a little bit self-explanatory. We can show a grid if we want, and it looks cool. We can change the grid, 2 studs, 4 studs, 16 studs. So say you're making like a map, this would be helpful. Let me put that back. Switch windows, you can do that. Stats, render, physics, whole bunch more that I don't use. But as you progress, if you do, and you learn a bit, you'll get used to a lot of this, and you'll learn more than me, hopefully, because I use a little bit of it. But that's everything. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. I'll try my best to help you out. And I almost forgot this little area over here. You can copy, you can paste. Pasting does this, it goes on top. And little shortcut. Actually, I didn't show you this. Collisions. Collisions is fun. So say I want to spawn in one of the spawns. It's physically not happening. I try moving it, and it won't work. Why? That's because of collisions. Collisions is on. Now I can move it through objects. Collisions restricts you a little bit if you want it to restrict. That's like if you're trying to put furniture next to a wall, but you don't want one of the chair legs going through the wall. So you put collisions on to make sure that nothing goes through walls. It's a little bit helpful, it's cool. And constraints and join I don't use, so I really couldn't tell you much about them. But other than that, the pasting, if you don't like it like this, I almost forgot, I'm an idiot. If you have collisions on and you press duplicate or Ctrl D, the collisions will make it so that the new object isn't interfering with the old object or the one you're duplicating. If you take it off, you can press D, it duplicates, and it's already inside. So this is a little bit cool. I can press it as many times as I want. Now I got 1, I got 2, I have 3, 4, 5. I pretty much have a whole bunch of these inside of here, but they don't stack, so that's pretty cool. And cutting is just taking an object, having it in the clipboard basically, and then pasting it later on. And then duplicate is duplicate. That's another way you can get it. But other than that, that's everything. For sure now that I know of. Any questions, put them in the comments, and I will answer them. Team Create can also chat with people, but I'm lonely. So, see ya.